Hi guys, good afternoon and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in today's video I'll be discussing what I thought of the latest and so very good episode, of Star Trek Picard, which dropped just 2 days ago, this past Thursday on Paramount Plus. I was at the movies Thursday night watching Scream 6, which I highly recommend. You can catch that film review right here on this channel. It's one of my more recent videos. But right now, I'm giving you my delayed review for Star Trek Picard and what I thought of it and all that jazz. So naturally, this is a spoiler-filled review. So if you're not caught up on Picard, you don't want to keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing spoilers, plot details, character stuff, all that jazz. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, this episode had such high stakes in it that it really kept you like on the edge of your seat the whole time. You're like, how the hell are they going to get out of this? Like, we have seen some death-defying situations throughout this franchise repeatedly across multiple shows and movies, but this one seemed different. This one, it seemed like you knew they were going to get out of it, but the question was, how? Because everything seems so bleak and hopeless, even to the point where Mr. Never Give Up Riker even told Picard, make time with your son, get to know him now in the few remaining hours that we have, while he was going to make a goodbye message to Deanna. I mean, damn, that is some bleak shit right there. But also understandable too under the circumstances. But then they figure out a way to get out of it, a very clever way. I was not expecting it to rely on a space-based life form that was about to give birth and having contractions that were giving off those electrical pulses or whatever they were. And I was not expecting like a whole swarm of kind of adorable-looking jellyfish-type aliens surrounding the ship after they escaped the nebula and the Shrike ship. So that was very cool and unexpected. Was not expecting to see cool spaceborne life forms in this episode. I thought it was going to be another cat and mouse game between the Titan and the Shrike ship, but I guess this episode reminded us that one of their primary missions is to make contact with new life, and they certainly did that. Even though there wasn't a whole lot of contact, they came in close proximity to it, and it also helped them escape their fate as well. We got a little bit more backstory on the villain Vedic. It seems like she herself is a changeling, and the changelings can now communicate with one another if they hack off a limb, so to speak, and they can communicate that way. They didn't specify why, but they very, very much want Jack Crusher. No idea as of yet, but as to why yet, but it's clear that they want him for something or whatever. And then I really loved the very emotional scene, which totally explains why he was such an incredulous dick to both him and Riker, but especially to Picard. Why Captain Shaw has showed such disdain or expressed such disrespect for them in the first episode when he first met them at their dinner. He was a survivor of Wolf 359, the same battle that Ben Sisko was a part of, where he lost his wife and the mother of his son in the same battle to the Borg cube that Picard was on as Locutus. And of course, that's why Shaw resents Picard, because he lost a lot of friends and shipmates that day. And Picard seems to understand that, but he doesn't let it get in his way, because he's like, you may be a dipshit from Chicago, but we still need you. This was just a very well done, high stakes episode. Yes, things worked out in the end. They defeated the changeling saboteur. They escaped the nebula. They found a way to power their ship. They briefly escaped the Shrike ship. They threw an asteroid at the Shrike ship, which was awesome, because at first I couldn't tell what exactly Riker was up to or what his plan was, but then it became clear when he mentioned tractor beam, and then we see like the beam seemingly holding the asteroid as it flings it at the Shrike ship. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. That is awesome. And then amongst the other emotional scenes we got in this episode, I loved the stuff with Picard trying to bond with Jack in the holodeck simulated version of Guinan's bar. But I also liked how we got that pretty heartbreaking reveal in a flashback where it turns out Jack tried connecting with Picard as an anonymous stranger 5 years ago, when Picard very proudly said, "Starfleet is the only family I have ever needed." And the crushing look on Jack's face is just heartbreaking. And then it cuts to the present where they're just both looking at each other from afar on the bridge. And Picard seems to be remembering and realizing that encounter, the kind of impact that must have had on Jack, and how much he must despise him or resent him for that remark, even though their relationship kind of improved during this episode. It's just devastating to see that unfold, but it was done so well too, as a final whoa moment right before the episode wrapped up, that reveal that Jack did in fact reach out to him once years ago, and Picard basically blatantly rejected him without realizing or having any inkling to knowing who Jack was or what his relationship to him would end up being. Just beautifully done episode. It was exciting. It was dramatic. It was everything you want a good Star Trek episode to be, with your legacy characters, with your new characters. Didn't see war for Rafi in this episode, but that's okay, because this episode was mostly about the situation, the dire situation the Titan and her crew were in, and about what they were doing to get out of it and how to escape. So I liked that a lot. Plus, Shaw is starting to grow more and more on me. He and Seven are getting along again, and he proved himself useful in disabling the warp nacelle. I also loved how Seven figured out that wasn't the real LaForge ensign, that was the changeling, because LaForge always respectfully calls her Commander Seven. So I liked that she caught that little detail. So that was fun. Great episode overall. Like I said, emotional, exciting, dramatic, all the stuff you want in a good Star Trek episode. So I really enjoyed it a lot, as I hope you guys did too. So what did you think of this episode of Picard? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you expecting more, expecting less? Let me know what your thoughts and feelings are down below in the comments section. Have a wonderful rest of your day and your weekend if I don't see you again. Picard drops new episodes every Thursday on Paramount Plus. Thanks again for bearing with me. I do apologize for the slight delay, but thanks all the same. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And of course, until next time, live long and prosper.